Oh boy, do we have an exciting Tesla stock update for all Tesla stock investors. And here in this video, we're going to get into some things that we just don't normally get into, including the positioning in Tesla with your large banks, your Bank of America, your Citi, your JP Morgan, your Morgan Stanley. Have they been increasing their positions heading into 2024? We have that information for you, as well as the option activity. How are institutional investors positioned for the next couple of weeks when it looks like Tesla stock is almost certainly going to break out? Dan Ives expects a 10 to 15% rally in technology throughout the rest of this year. And if that were to happen, oh boy, Tesla stock is going to be well into the $300 range. I want to give you some levels to be watching for if this holiday seasonal bullishness does come into our markets. On top of that, we're going to get into all of the breaking news you need to know on Tesla stock today. And one piece of news in particular could be a game changer for Tesla, and it has to do with FSD in China. We have all of this and much more, including the fact that the short interest on Tesla just grew by another 2 million shares. Short sellers are not exactly well positioned for an upside move in Tesla stock. If this is your first time to the channel and the YouTube algorithm has blessed you with coming across this channel, well, we keep you informed each and every single day, and a phone call here or there in the intro of videos. Hit that subscribe button if you guys would like to grow your knowledge base, grow your income, reach financial freedom as quickly as possible, or at the very least become a wiser, more informed investor and or trader. Now, if you guys want to take it a step further and come trade with us live in real time, if you guys like these videos, if you find them insightful, then, well, the trading community could be right for you. We're doing some YOLOs, we're doing some day trading, some swing trading, some earnings trade, some long-term investing, long-term option positioning, even hedging of portfolios whenever the time does call for it. So come join us, link down below in the description of this video. So let's go ahead and start this video with some news that I think could be pretty dang big for Tesla. Now, Tesla is rumored to be starting the FSD beta in Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou, China. This will start in the fourth quarter of this year or the first quarter of next year. Now, if you guys don't remember, Tesla started collecting data in shadow mode and gradually started letting FSD open on a very small scale for trials. This has happened over the past couple of months. We first got this news back in August, and it looks like things have went really well. So it could be coming on a larger scale to these select 3 cities. These cities have massive population numbers. Shanghai has over 22 million citizens. Shenzhen has over 10 million citizens. And Guangzhou has over 11 million citizens. In total, there could be over 43 million people that could finally get access to FSD beta. For a little bit of context here, California, the most populous state in the US, has a population of 39.24 million people as of 2021. So this would be over 4 million more people than the entire state of California, which could finally get access to full self-driving software. Now, full self-driving in China is a little cheaper than it is here in the US. It starts at about $8,900. At least that's what is believed going to be the official price in China. This could, even if you get a small percentage of Tesla deliveries that have FSD, that could become very significant to Tesla's earnings quickly, because FSD software is about 90% net margins to the bottom line. And China is the second largest market for Tesla. Right behind the US, China does about 30% less deliveries than the US. Pretty standard any given quarter, but this number will likely grow larger than the US over time. So the quicker you get full self-driving incorporated in China, well, the better off Tesla is going to be. And maybe that could even give Tesla a competitive edge against some of the up-and-comers. Think of BYD, think of Li Auto, think of NIO, think of XPeng, or any of the other startup EV makers. So I don't know how impactful this could be in the next couple of quarters, but I think a year from now, analysts and investors will be incorporating a lot of value, let's be honest, to full self-driving in China, much the same way as full self-driving here contributes a lot of profits to the bottom line. This could dramatically grow the net profits for Tesla. In other news, the Tesla Model 3 refreshed Highland is being unveiled in France today. And there was quite the crowd that showed up for this unveiling. As you can see here in this video, a lot of people are pretty dang excited. Tesla has signed a lease to open a vast sales and service center in Shanghai's industrial park. Again, Shanghai has a population of about 22 million citizens, so this can be quite important. This new Tesla store with a size of 8,000 square meters or 861,000 square feet will open in mid-2024 in Zin Park, under development in Shanghai's Pudong district, according to the statement on the Chinese company's official WeChat account on Saturday. Tesla also plans to put more emphasis on stores in less costly suburban locations that can also provide repairs as the company works to meet Chief Executive Elon Musk's goal of improving service for customers, the Reuters report said. Tampa has just gotten a new Tesla Model Y taxi that is offering $2 downtown rides. Can't say I've seen a yellow Tesla too many times. Tesla has now installed the second V4 supercharger station here in the US, this time in Sparks, Nevada. And as you can see, there's only a couple of them right now. They're not even deployed yet. They just came out of the crate. So we don't have any official sizes or kind of scales of how big this site could be, but it is positive to continue to see Tesla rolling out chargers everywhere. And let's be honest, that is the number one reason why a lot of people don't buy electric today. It's not because they don't want to save money on gas, on charging, because you get a lot of cost savings. It's not because they don't want a $7,500 tax credit. It's not because they dislike the technology in Teslas. It's because, well, there's not a lot of superchargers. I live in Michigan. That's a big problem. There's not a lot of superchargers. Around where I live, I've never been to a Tesla supercharger in my local area. Sure, if you travel, there's more, but I have to charge at home. So that kind of limits you staying in a smaller area. And if you guys have not followed us over here on X, here it is, Michael Tyler. Go ahead and give us a follow. We will start to post some videos on X as well if all things do go as planned. So don't miss the action over there as well. Tesla officially posted this post on X, which is quite incredible. Improved camera quality is now rolling out via an over-the-air update. And I really like this comment. It's actually hilarious. Engineers, sir, that requires a hardware change. Elon, you can do it with software. I believe in you. Tesla, over-the-air update. Your cars now print a $20 bill every 30 minutes. And it looks like this is not a small upgrade. Like the camera quality here, this is what is in a lot of vehicles now, compared to what it is going to be. That is a massive change. Tesla Chan shared us this news that Nuevo Leon plans to start work requested by Tesla within a few weeks. Quote, the economy minister Ivan Rivas reports water, road, rail, and energy works could be carried out by the state, while Tesla will start construction of the Gigafactory. So it does look like we are a little bit closer to breaking ground on Giga Mexico. Gary Black shared the same post that we went over 2 days ago and says, quote, the Cybertruck production to start imminently, I believe is what he meant to say, which means delivery event isn't far behind. Bullish. In September 2023 in India, 4.85% of registered vehicles in the second week were electric. In the third week, 56.09% were electric. In the fourth week, only 1.6% were electric. And 5.81% of registered buses were electric. Now, as you guys know, Tesla is not in India. If you see a Tesla in India, that's because someone imported it into India, and the taxes on that are ridiculous. They're like 100%. So that's the reason why Tesla is not in India. Now, Tesla has been meeting with the Indian Prime Minister Modi for quite a while now, the last couple of months. So if Tesla could break into this market, it could be huge. Take a look at some of these numbers. The top registered vehicle for the second week in September was the Ola Electric Technologies PVT Ltd. They registered 18,662 units. TVS Motor Company registered 15,000. Aether Energy PVT registered 7,000, and the list continues on. So yeah, that's why I get a little bit excited when we get closer to entering into India, which I believe will happen some point in the next year or so. That could be the next leg of Tesla's international growth story. Tesla's full self-driving beta has surpassed 500 million miles traveled. This comes from Holmar's catalog, and he says 185 crashes have been prevented. I would argue it's probably a lot higher than that. It's probably in the thousands. We have seen quite a few videos where FSD beta has literally stopped you on a green light because it's seen a car flying through their red light. So I would imagine it's probably more than that, but still, 500 million miles traveled is way more data than anyone else has. Dan Ives reposted this post from Steve Levine that says the UAW strike has crossed third base and is heading home. The break is GM agreeing to incorporate battery workers into the master agreement. As long as others go along, which they will have to, it's mainly details that are left. Which I know a lot of people say these strikes and new contracts are to Tesla's benefit, which pound for pound, numbers to numbers, they are, right? GM and Ford, Stellantis, they're going to have a lot of pressure to raise prices where Tesla could really start to lower prices even more as costs do come down. That could make Tesla the clear choice for many other individuals that don't really look at Tesla as an option. Again, especially once chargers become more prevalent and everywhere, the same way gas stations are today. But the way Tesla stock has been reacting is when you get bad news from the UAW strike, Tesla stock is not going higher, it's going lower. So this strike ending might actually be a positive for Tesla's stock price. Believe that or not. I think that has a lot to do with the algorithms saying, hey, bad news for autos, bad news for Teslas. So keep that on your radar. If this strike does end, it could be really positive news for Tesla's share price. Here you have Dan Ives saying, quote, I think we are going to have an eye-opener type of parabolic move up in tech going into year end. Quote, I believe tech rips higher from here.
Let's end on a positive note. It's Friday, right? Let's end on a high note. You put out a big note, sort of a macro tech note, very bullish. I think you're calling for like a 10 or 12 or 15% jump heading into year end. Why?
I think we're going to see it starting with 3Q earnings. I think we are going to have an eye-opener type of parabolic move up in tech going into year end. I think tech's oversold here. If I look at AI in terms of this,
even with the big year it's had,
look, even in the big year, if I go into 2024, I think Street's underestimating numbers across software, across chips. I think we're going into a Goldilocks situation, despite the macro and obviously the 10-year in a soft landing type backdrop, I believe tech rips higher from here, which is why we believe 12-15% type upside move going into year end.
Now, I do to some degree agree with Dan Ives in the context, if we get a soft landing narrative playing out, you could see a rally in tech, but tech is not oversold compared to a Dollar General, a Target, your home builders, some of your more economically sensitive companies. So this market is not strong, and be a little bit careful with making assumptions of the seasonally bullish period, which typically is October, or at least the second half of October, November and December. It does not have to be bullish. In October 1929, 1989, 1987, 2008, 2022, October was not great months. So you want to be a little bit careful after this rally we've seen on Friday in the broader markets to sit here and say everything is fine. This fall is over. You really want to see your Dollar General, your Targets, your banks, a Bank of America and Citi trading at their SVB lows is not exactly telling you things are fine out there. Quite the opposite. So to some degree, I agree. If we get a soft landing narrative, I do believe stocks can do well. But before you see tech go up another 12 or 15%, you probably need to see your dividend stocks, some of your stocks that I just mentioned, also doing well. The average stock is negative for 2022 on an S&P 500 equal weighted basis, whereas your Magnificent Seven have really been the ones carrying the way. But I'll tell you right now, if Dan Ives is correct and we get anything close to 10 to 15% higher in tech, well, Tesla stocks going at least to the mid 300 range. Shorts covering Tesla stock and Tesla shares could be a reason that could send Tesla into that mid $300 range. The amount of shares sold short in Tesla hit a low back here on July 31st at 78.21 million. Now you're sitting at almost 85 million shares sold short. Just from August 31st through September 15th, you've seen almost 3 million more shares get sold short of Tesla. And if you take a look at the dollar amount that's currently sold short, it's sitting at 22.14 billion. Take a look at an Apple. I know Apple's had a lot of troubles recently, so the short position has increased recently with Apple, but still, it's only at 18.61 billion, and Apple is like 5 times the valuation, 4 times the valuation of Tesla. So dollar for dollar, market cap for market cap, Tesla is sold short on a just stupid level. If you look at Microsoft's short interest, if Ortex will pull it up, is sitting over here at about $13 billion. If we do get an up move in tech, well, Tesla's going to move up a lot more than your broader tech stocks. Now, Tesla's Google Trends data, especially for the Model Y and the Model 3, are continuing to go higher. It seems like every single day, the Model 3 and the Model Y, Google search trends are going higher. And this is really good news to see, and I think it really makes you wonder why Tesla cut prices for the Model 3 and the Model Y. Is this the final pricing change we're going to see before the Cybertruck delivery event is actually announced? We'll talk about that more in the video later on today. I do believe the Cybertruck announcement is imminent. It could be this weekend. It could be within the next 10 days or so. I think that makes a lot of sense. But here, I mean, look, you're spiking up. You're continuing to spike up. Whereas what's interesting, the Model S and the Model X are actually going back down to the normal trend in which they've really been at for years now. If you also take a look at Tesla's Ads Transparency Center over here on Google, Tesla's running about 200 ads with Google. This is something we have already reported on. But where I think Tesla really needs to improve, where they're lacking, is there is not a single video ad. Not a single one. And really, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But I think the group of individuals that need to learn about Teslas, that don't know about Teslas, are probably the individuals that are sitting at home watching television. Those are probably the people that need to hear about Tesla the most, my opinion. Now let's take a look at the institutional ownership for Tesla. And as you can see with Citigroup did own a lot of Tesla back here in September of 2020. They sold a lot of shares. Now they're starting to aggressively buy back those shares. Citigroup owns 3.1 million shares of Tesla. In the last quarter, they have increased their position about 37%. And about a half of 1% of their entire portfolio is in Tesla stock. Morgan Stanley, remember them? The guys that have a $400 price target on Tesla, the highest on Wall Street? Well, they own 27, almost 28 million shares. They've increased their position 26.5% within the last quarter, and this has an allocation of almost 1% of their entire portfolio. And as you can see right here in this picture, Morgan Stanley just continuously is adding to their positions, especially as Tesla has been at these lower prices. They were not a big buyer back here in 2021 when Tesla was in the $300-$400 range, but as Tesla has really slid from that 250 level down to 100, and now where we are right now, about 260 again, they've been aggressively buying shares of Tesla. What about JP Morgan Chase? They have a $135 price target on Tesla. What have they been doing? Well, same as Morgan Stanley. They have been aggressively adding to their positions. They did trim about 3 million shares of Tesla. They decreased their position by about 8.5% in the last quarter, but they own 26,739,000 shares of Tesla with almost a 1% total portfolio allocation in Tesla. Makes you wonder why they have a $135 price target. Bank of America has decreased their position in Tesla by about 15.64%. They own about 10 million shares of Tesla. This is a little bit over a quarter of 1% of their entire portfolio. And as you can see from their chart, they have also been adding quite a bit of Tesla on this latest drop that we've seen throughout 2022 and 2023. And if you take a look at the broader picture here for institutional ownership in Tesla, you will see, well, not a lot of people were actually buying in 2021. They've really started to buy ever since Tesla did fall to about 100. You have been trending down though, so the institutional ownership is not quite at the highest level it's been at, and this is something that is bullish for 2024. I think you see more positioning into Tesla as Tesla does start to beat the numbers, and especially as the Cybertruck deliveries really start to ramp, and that causes the halo effect for Tesla's business. If we take a look at the option activity this upcoming week for Tesla, expiring on October 13th, very strangely, you did see about 29,000 options that were bought for the 110 put on Tesla. These are obviously not going to go into the money. That would be a wildly just egregious drop. That's not going to happen, but it really makes me wonder why. Maybe someone is expecting a big move down and this was quite the swing trade. What I find most interesting about this though is the volume basically matches the open interest. So it looks like this was actually a swing trade, that they're likely holding this into the start of this upcoming week, which is weird. Let's just leave it at that. The most active strike for Tesla was the 270 call with volume of about 48,000 and open interest of 12,000. So a lot of activity there. The 265 also had a lot of activity, about 52,000 for volume with open interest of 9,000. And the 260 call had volume of 55,000 with open interest of 9,300. The puts, the most active put was the 240 put with about 28,000 for volume and open interest of 12,000. So it's definitely being dominated here by the calls. And like I've said many times, when you see the volume so much higher than the open interest, that's a really good insight that a lot of people are initiating bullish positions on Tesla. And if you do take a look right here at the put to call ratio, you will see the put to call ratio hit its lowest point back here when Tesla stock also hit its lowest point, meaning that's when a lot of people were buying calls on Tesla, and the put to call ratio has been rising ever since. But you still would need to see a very big move higher to actually get the put to call ratio to move up in a significant way. You're still very much bullishly positioned with a put to call ratio of 0.86. This is much lower than the put to call ratio on the NASDAQ or the S&P, which sits at about 1.6. Tesla's never been at 1.6 for a put to call ratio. So yeah, a lot of people are bullish on Tesla. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. We are going to get into some of the technicals and other things you need to know throughout this holiday seasonally bullish period in the markets, as well as 2024 in the next video. So stay tuned for that one. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys made it to the end of this video. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Again, if you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, every time I make trades, I send out alerts. Link down below in the description of this video. You can come ask us questions, come get involved in the community. It's a great place to be. Follow us over on X if you guys have not already. Michael Tyler. We might start to post some videos over there, just depending if that's something you guys would also like to see. Probably shorter videos. We'll see, but come follow us over there in case we do. Get yourself 15 free stocks, I believe it is right now, with Webull using the link down below in the description of this video as well. So thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.